Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. My name is Nathan Bragg, and I am a Senior Contract Compliance Analyst with GSA. Today, we'll be discussing some of the basics of multiple award schedule contract administration related to contract compliance. First, let's dig into some of the fundamentals. You may want to take a screenshot of this slide, as there are several acronyms that you will need to be familiar with for your MAS contract. The most common one in today's presentation will be MAS or MAS for the Multiple Award Schedule contract. So I'm going to pause here just for a second for people to take that screenshot if you want. A few of these will show up throughout the presentation. The GSA MAS contract allows contractors to have a streamlined method of connecting with federal government customers. You can think of the GSA MAS contract as being at the parent level, with the various order types being at the child level, keeping in mind that the terms of the parent contract flow down to the order level. So, if you think of the MAS parent contract as the umbrella, all the various contract arrangements underneath are covered by the terms of the parent. Your contract can and will change over its life through modifications, both those initiated by you, the contractor, and those initiated by GSA. You will be notified of MAS modifications. This MAS, with two S's, is short for massive, impacting all schedule contract holders. These MAS mods are issued by GSA and generally must be signed within 90 days. Each MAS modification will outline significant changes impacting the solicitation and your contract. When you need to make changes to your contract through modifications, your company's authorized negotiator must submit the request via the eMod system. These changes could include adding or deleting products or services, increasing prices, changes to terms and conditions, like prompt payment or delivery times, as well as administrative changes, such as authorized negotiators, phone numbers, or updating points of contact. It's important to be aware that these changes only become effective upon finalization of the modification. And remember the umbrella on the previous slide. Changes to contract terms, for example, the pricing, must be modified at the parent level before being changed at the child level. The FAS FCP, or Catalog Platform, is an application for vendors to provide details about their market offerings to customers. These details include key information about offerings such as manufacturer name, part number, description, photos, and price. This information and your company's contact information is published to GSA Advantage, GSA eLibrary, and eBuy for your customers to see. Most types of modification requests that you will submit will involve sending files or information through a combination of the eOffer eMod website and the FCP site. FCP is used immediately after contract award and of the contract for modifications involving catalog changes. Catalog-related mods, or catalog mods, are modifications that require a change to the price list or GSA Advantage. Generally, these are additions, deletions, pricing, and technical mods, such as those to change a product description. These modifications must be submitted via FCP. The assessment is a crucial part of the contract lifecycle. It can play a major role in decisions about whether GSA wishes to continue or extend the contract relationship by exercising option periods. We'll cover a few of the areas of the contractor assessment today. Assessments are GSA's review of your compliance with various requirements of the contract and include the review and analysis of your internal sales records, order sampling, and document review. We will complete testing and validation of your internal processes to verify your contract compliance. These are a great opportunity for one-on-one feedback from your IOA and guidance on any compliance-related topics. Be on the lookout for contact from your IOA or CCA, either by phone or email, to get the process started. These assessments are mandatory. However, they are also an excellent opportunity for education and to ensure that your processes are working the way you intended. The assessments will allow you to develop an individual relationship and partnership with your assigned IOA CCA. A critical area of review during the assessment is sales reporting. Accurate sales reporting is fundamental to contract compliance and includes reporting the correct sales amount for each period, along with the applicable data and reporting those sales under the correct special item number or SIN. The contract does have a minimum sales requirement of $100,000 within the first 60 months following contract award and $125,000 for each 60-month period thereafter. Failure to meet this criteria may result in consideration for contract termination. Contract sales must be reported within 30 days after the end of the reporting period, which is now monthly for everyone. It should be noted the deadline is 30 days, not 1 month. The industrial funding fee must be remitted within 30 days past the end of each quarter. You can remit your monthly IFF if you prefer, but it is required at the very least quarterly. Make sure you report only items or services listed on your mass price list under the appropriate SIN category. Those items not specified on your contract, but sold as order level materials, or OLMs, should be reported only under the OLM SIN. GSA does not tell you specifically how you need to structure your sales tracking system. We do, however, require that your system accurately and completely identifies, tracks, and reports your GSA mass sales. You will need a system that tracks your contract sales and all of the data elements required for transactional data reporting. This process should also differentiate between GSA mass and non-mass sales. It should provide a method of retrieving historical data or recreating historical sales reports. Also, please ensure you are consistent in how and when you recognize a sale for reporting. You can report by either the date of the invoice or on a cash basis at the payment date, but don't switch between the two. What is a schedule sale? There are some common indicators for a GSA mass sale, including the GSA contract number being referenced on the documentation, the order terms and conditions mirroring those of your GSA mass contract, hearing from the customer through GSA Advantage or GSA eBuy, if the customer paid with a government purchase card for items on your GSA mass contract, and if the pricing is at or below the GSA contract price. A schedule sale is not only those orders with an accompanying order documentation that explicitly includes the contract number. You should consider the totality of the circumstances. What did the customer request or intend? And what did your proposal or quote reference? When in doubt, you should ask. Ask the customer, ask your IOA CCA, or ask your contracting officer. In a perfect world, all schedule orders would have an award document that lists your mass contract number at the top, but that's simply not the case. Some orders will have your mass contract number, and some you will receive through GSA Advantage or GSA eBuy, and those are obviously GSA mass sales. You may receive orders via phone or email, which could be reportable. Here are a few other questions you can ask to make a determination if the order is under your mass contract. If you click on the VSC link at the bottom of this slide, you can see this laid out in a flowchart on the Vendor Support Center. Ask yourself, is the customer eligible to use mass contracts? If so, it may be reportable. Is the item listed on my contract? Again, if so, it may be reportable. Unless there is evidence of another contract vehicle being used outside the mass contract, in which case it is not GSA reportable. There is one common mistake we should caution you about. If you have an established BPA or blanket purchasing agreement with a customer against your mass contract and you receive an order under that BPA, the order document will likely not reference the mass contract number, but will actually reference the BPA number, which of course then in turn references the mass contract. Remember, the umbrella covers both the BPA and the call orders on the BPA, so that would be reportable. Transactional data reporting is the method of reporting sales and data elements containing details that are used by GSA, customers, and contractors for sales and market analysis. GSA has recently expanded TDR to all mass contracts. Monthly TDR reporting or transactional data reporting is sort of like a grocery store receipt that shows what you sold, at what price, how many you sold, and using what unit of measure. The basic building blocks for reporting come from the delivery or task order awards, your quote or proposal, as well as your mass contract catalog. Ensuring the accuracy of your TDR data entries is extremely important. SRP does have a list of required elements, depending on if products or services are being sold. We've called out a few of those elements here with an asterisk, where it is especially important to ensure data entered matches the listing on your contract exactly. We also call that your catalog list, what's on your contract. An explanation of all the required data points is available in the SRP Help Guide. You can see the most up-to-date requirements on SRP or on the GSA Interact Mass community. Please keep those websites handy, as the data points requirements may change over time. When reporting, if no customer order or PID exists, you may use your internal order or invoice number. Just follow instructions at the link shown on this slide. Whether you're reporting services or products, be sure to use, as applicable, the labor category, service title, manufacturer part number, and manufacturer name exactly as listed on your approved mass price list. A common error we see is to use a labor title or product name that the customer has indicated on their order documents, even when it does not match what is awarded on your mass catalog. You should always use what is listed exactly on your catalog and keep a crosswalk between the two if necessary. Different data elements may come from different places. Some information comes from the customer order, some from your mass catalog, and some from your proposal, as well as a number of other documents. If there is a conflict between the customer order and the mass contract catalog, defer to the mass contract for how to enter data elements such as labor category, unit of measure, and part number. Here, we can see an example of one of those data sources for TDR reporting. You might find the order number, also called PID, on the SF 1449 for the task order. Make sure you are using the exact language and style that is awarded on your contract. For example, here we see the difference between spelling out the words subject, matter, and expert, and how that is different than abbreviating it as the letters SME. These are not the same and require changes. Building on the previous example, we see a good report where the language matches exactly between the mass contract price and, the mass contract price list and the monthly TDR reporting. This same concept applies for products and at the manufacturer part number, as well as several other data elements. We've given you links to some more important TDR and sales reporting resources. The first link is to the SRP login page and lands you near the bottom of the page with additional information. Among other helpful information in that area, you will find the most recent reporting Excel template. GSA also has some very helpful information on the TDR help page. And also, we have a previously recorded tutorial on our GSA YouTube channel. Additionally, the mass office hours for May 2026 is scheduled to be for SRP reporting, so be on the lookout for that as well. Here are a few things to know about pricing. We'll be looking at your pricing to make sure that you've charged mass customers the appropriate mass contract price or lower. Think of your mass price as a ceiling price. You can go lower, but never higher. A few things to note about prices. Tariffs are not allowed as an additional charge to mass customers. If your terms and conditions include quantity or volume discounts, ensure that those are applied appropriately in order to avoid any overcharges. Remember that your contract price is fully burdened and already includes the IFF. Any price increases must always be approved by your GSA mass contracting officer through a modification at the parent mass contract level. We keep saying that because it's important. Anytime you need to make changes to your contract, whether it be adding or deleting items or increasing prices, you need to have an approved contract modification. Inappropriate delivery charges are considered part of your compliance with contract pricing requirements. If your mass contract has FOB origin terms, you may charge shipping fees, but only the actual invoiced amount from the carrier should be charged to the customer. Most mass contracts have FOB destination delivery terms. or free shipping within the continental United States. So, the only time an FOB destination contractor should be charging fees related to shipping or delivery is for extra services, such as expedited delivery. If your contract includes prompt payment discount terms, those payment terms must be displayed on your mass invoices. This includes any online invoice that you submit, such as through the wide area workflow system or other online invoicing systems. Failure to do so may result in overcharges to the government, which must be reimbursed. Please note that prompt payment discount terms do not apply to credit card payments or government P card payments, as they are sometimes called. The Trade Agreement Act applies to all mass contracts, products and services alike. All products and services sold under your mass contract must be Trade Agreements Act or TAA compliant. Contractors that provide products are required to provide the government with end products that are manufactured or substantially transformed within the United States or other TAA designated countries. If you have products on your GSA contract, you should be able to provide documentation showing the country of origin. When submitting your product information to GSA, ensure you are providing accurate country of origin, particularly for any Made in America claims. As a recent executive order, false claims of MIA, may be referred to the Department of Justice. Verify you have accurate information from the manufacturer for the products you sell through GSA. If you are the manufacturer of the products on your GSA contract, you will most likely be asked to provide a written statement saying that your company manufactures the products on your mass contract and list the locations of your manufacturing facilities. If you are reselling products from another manufacturer or third-party supplier, you are responsible for ensuring that you list only TAA compliant products on your mass contract and that only TAA compliant products are delivered to your mass customers. It is a best practice to periodically review the items listed on your mass contract price list to verify that all of the items are still TAA compliant and that you have the correct country of origin listed in your mass contract catalog. If you find an item is no longer TAA compliant, please submit a modification to delete these items from your contract and remove them from your mass catalog. If you need to change the country of origin for any items in your mass catalog, you will also need to submit a modification request. TAA compliance for services is based on where your company is incorporated. You can locate a list of various countries and their TAA status on gsa.gov. Let's take a look at labor qualification requirements. If your mass contract lists labor categories, it may include the minimum required experience and education. These requirements refer to the minimum qualifications of the person staffed in a specified labor category. These requirements in your mass contract are established by you and for your business. They are unique to each contract. If your company has any customary labor qualifications substitutions, such as years of experience in place of education, those should be documented in the contract. You may be asked during an assessment to provide details about what individuals were staffed at a particular time and to provide their resume or other evidence of their qualifications. If a project uses functional labor category titles based on the customer's RFQ, you will need to demonstrate how those functional titles align with the labor categories awarded on your mass contract. The qualifications requirements do not apply to contracts providing categories covered under the Service Contract Labor Standards, SCLS, formerly known as the Service Contract Act. SCLS labor category is bound by wage determinations set by the Department of Labor. Professional services labor is made up of employees who are exempt from SCLS. Now, let's talk about scope. As a GSA schedule contract holder, you are responsible for quoting and selling products and services that are within the scope of your awarded contract. Staying within the scope of your contract is not the responsibility of the ordering agency. It is your responsibility. Products and services sold under your GSA contract should be those listed on your approved mass contract price list, and they must also fall within the SIN descriptions that have been awarded for your contract. However, non-contract items or services may be added to orders placed against the GSA mass contract as long as they are clearly identified to the ordering agency in the quote and labeled based upon the specific mass order flexibility being used. Additional information on the flexibilities allowed can be found at the links here for OLMs or order level materials, contractor teaming agreements, or other flexibilities. The identification of which mass contract flexibility you are using in your quote or proposal is critical for a customer to be able to make correct procurement decisions. The customer may need to complete extra steps in order to use some mass flexibilities. They need to know which products or services are not on your GSA contract so they can properly do their job and stay within required policy and federal regulations. Please remember that you should only reference your GSA contract number or logo on GSA contract orders. Referencing your GSA contract or even indicating GSA on orders that are not processed under your GSA contract can confuse and mislead customers. Let's touch base about delivery. On-time delivery is important to GSA and to your customers. It is important that your company delivers what was ordered and meets the government's shipping and packing requirements. It is your company's responsibility to make sure that your deliveries or milestones are on time and you're communicating the order status with your customers. If you need to renegotiate or alter delivery date or milestone due date for an individual order, make sure to keep documentation. Some federal customers have specific delivery due dates for items that are required to complete their mission. Make sure to provide an accurate representation of your delivery capabilities in your mass catalog. You should be able to show that you are meeting contract-specific delivery terms. IOAs and other GSA staff will monitor and review delivery performance documents to confirm your company's delivery timeliness. For service contractors, since delivery terms are negotiated with the customer, you may be asked to provide project timelines, progress reports, or milestone documentation. If you need to change the overall delivery terms in your mass contract, and on GSA Advantage, you guessed it, you will need to submit a modification request via the eMod system. You should be aware that different products and services in your catalog are allowed to have different delivery times if needed. The federal government may have different shipping and marking requirements than your commercial customers. The shipping and marking requirements will differ between military and civilian agencies. Review your orders, RFQs, and mass contract to understand the needs of each order and each customer. Failure to follow proper shipping or marking requirements can cause delayed or lost shipments, unhappy customers, as well as possible additional costs to you to get the package to your customer. In order to be successful and stay in compliance, there are various administrative tasks that need to be completed on a routine basis. Some administrative requirements are unique to your mass contract, and others apply to all federal government acquisitions. Points of contact and authorized negotiators should be kept up to date. The links below share more information on how to request changes to the various points of contact. If your company has a change of ownership, files for bankruptcy, or even a change of name, inform your contracting officer via writing. We mentioned earlier mass qualifications. Make sure you stay up to date on those. They need to be completed, usually within 90 days. Your SAM.gov registration must be kept up to date and active. You will have trouble getting paid if it isn't, so that one is really important to do. Participation in the E-Verify program is a contract requirement. Your company must comply with regulations regarding various prohibited products and use of prohibited products and Federal Acquisition Supply Chain Security Act orders, or FASCSA. These links will take you to more details in the FASC orders list, FAR Part 40, and the list of prohibited products for mass contractors on the Vendor Support Center. Now, let's discuss marketing. Think of your GSA mass contract as a fishing license. Just because you have a fishing license doesn't mean those fish will jump straight into your boat. Your contract success depends upon your successful marketing efforts. While we cannot market your contract for you, we do have a list of overall tips and resources for all contract holders. Procurement forecast lists planned business opportunities and links to federal government procurement forecasts are available via the link on the VSC Marketing Resource page, agency websites, and internet searches. We've covered marketing very briefly here, and we could have spent the entire presentation talking about marketing, but we wanted to give you just a little taste. The rules and requirements in your mass contract will change over time. There are multiple websites to help you understand and keep up to date with everything related to the mass program. The Vendor Support Center is the central place for contractor-specific information. The website also has a locator to help you contact the appropriate contact assigned to your contract. GSA hosts industry-specific events and engagement sessions, such as this one you are attending today. And the GSA Interact Multiple Award Schedule community posts live updates advance notice of solicitation updates and refreshes, tips and tricks, and summarizes changes to your mass contract. You can sign up for email notifications when new updates are posted. Now we will take questions.